Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we make some custom Christmas ornaments. When it comes to making custom Christmas ornaments, we can literally make them out of any material, any size, any design profile that you have in mind. In this case here, it's wood or MDF. It's a fibrous board, and it's made for a school. Now this is a great material because it's very cost effective. It actually engraves really, really well. And it cuts extremely well. Gives you a nice contrast, as you can see. And this is 1/8 inch thick. So what are some limitations when it comes to making custom Christmas ornaments? By far the biggest one is shipping. Right now, especially now, things are getting slower already, and a lot of customers come around and say, you know, we're now December 5th and we need Christmas ornaments like in a week. They end up paying a fortune for next day delivery because they can't wait the 1 to 2 weeks, even for couriers to send out what we produce for them. You have to keep in mind there is some lead time for us as well. Although I have an inventory of a lot of different materials here in the shop, sometimes there's a certain volume where I got to order more. That could take whether a day or it could take a week, or depending on how exotic the material, maybe 2 weeks to get in the shop. So you have to add that to your timeline. So let's say December 5th. Okay, well, let's say it happens to take 2 weeks to get the material in. You're cutting it really, really close. So what are your options when it comes to fonts and images? Well, images that work best are vector-based because they're nice and sharp regardless of the resolution of them. And the fonts that work best are basically any kind of font you could think of. If we're just engraving the surface as you see here, then that could be literally any font. Now if it's cut through like you see here, that's where you have to be a little bit more careful with the fonts because inner parts need to be held. So like O's, P's, E's, and that kind of stuff. They have a small inside part, and if you don't account for that, they fall out and your custom Christmas ornament ends up looking like crap. So we got to put support material for them. And of course there's limitations because if we go too small, we have to put the support material too thick and it kind of distorts the font that you have in mind. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to materials is your budget. If you have a very small budget, there's certain materials like titanium that's just completely out of the budget because you have to buy so much volume of it. Same thing with corian and other sort of more exotic materials. I'd say like plywood, generally wood is definitely more cost effective. Certain steels or anodized aluminum actually work really well too. Again, it depends on the volume and the design that you have and the size. But generally what I would say is if you're in a rush for Christmas ornaments, wood is generally the best option to go with. It smells better than steel. It weighs less, so it's easier to ship. And especially if you're in a massive rush, you end up saving a fortune for shipping just on that account alone. And you know, we can still engrave and etch steel like we can with wood. There's no real difference that way. But again, you just got to keep in mind the environment it's going to go into as well. So let's say we made a whole bunch of these things here, and they're made to go outside. This is really the worst material to go outside because as soon as it gets wet, it doubles in size and halves in value. So for that case there, we'd make them out of steel, maybe anodized aluminum would work really well at this size. Or a solid wood like maple or walnut that we could actually seal completely here in the shop. So if you're looking for custom Christmas ornaments, contact me at CNCKing.com. You definitely want to get going on it now rather than a few weeks from now.